Hey, what's up, everyone? It's been a little bit since I made a video. So I wanted to get back into it a little bit here about one of the articles that I posted about a week ago on the website that I just think is very fascinating. It's about the Andean culture, the Mocha. Um, what we know about the Mocha, in particular, in this article discussion, is the fact that they did electrochemical metal plating on copper objects. So this is a culture that was around from 100 CE to 800 CE, and they devised an ingenious way to take molten gold and molten silver and chemically plate copper objects. They didn't do this with electricity, they did it with a chemical process. The chemical process is called electrochemical replacement. And here's some of the objects that they made. This is found in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It's really amazing and kind of astounding to consider how they developed this. Now, my only belief is that they did this through trial and error with their natural environment, their natural resources, but still to try to put it all together, like from A to Z, how they came up with it is still, to me, mind-boggling. Here are some of the chemical analysis of the objects that um, scientists have studied to prove that this is what they did. Um, these artifacts are in the Loma Negra site, and the plating was uniformly spread within microns around the object. The reason why they did this was resource scarcity. So gold and silver were commodities that were important not because of a material value, but because of esoteric value. Gold represented the sun, and silver represented the moon. And the leaders of their culture wanted to have these esoteric objects in regards to their cosmological beliefs, but because they lacked a lot of gold and lacked a lot of silver, but they had a lot of copper, somehow they came up with this method. Um, they used niacin or salt from salt flats or evaporating seawater, potassium nitrate, which they got from wood ash or dung heaps, and aluminum, which they got from rich clay deposits or volcanic activity that created these elements in the natural environment. And they heated them up to something like 800 degrees Celsius, and they put the gold or silver in with it. And when the gold or silver got molten and mixed with these chemicals, they dipped the copper object into it, and it would create a uniform plating around. This object here, the plating was gold, and it worn away over the centuries, grating against the earth, and the oxidation of the copper underneath now visible. So when we talk about ancient people, their scientific acumen was off the charts. And again, I would love to really hear like a dissertation as to, how this evolution, scientific evolution came about. One can imagine maybe there was some type of fire or accident, and by happenstance, they saw the result. But it seems a little bit more complex than that. All we have is the fingerprints and the evidence of what they did. But we can't get into their thinking or methodology. So, um, well, for me, all I can say is experimentation, trial and error. But the very idea that they knew by mixing these elements, or they came about the understanding of mixing these elements would get the intended result that they were looking for is still incredible to postulate upon. So, if you want to read about incredible ancient scientific feat, the article is on ancienthistoryx.com. To put it into context, electromedical plating wasn't invented until an Italian did it in, let's Luigi Breganelli in the 19th century. So, you know, almost 1,000 years later, someone else came through it through more rigorous science. These ancient people were doing in South America. I don't know. I would like to pick the brain of someone who's really got into this more, get an understanding of how they think that about it. But we know that they did it. That's just founding in itself. So, if you want to read the article, check it out on